Dovetail Games Eurofishing, proud sponsors of On the Bank.
Welcome back to the show. We'll see how Hughes' Balaton adventure continued a bit later on in the programme.
Meanwhile, Mr. Ford here has been out on the winter trade show trail, and he wandered off to Bristol to meet some of his weird fluff-chucking pals.
Hold on a minute.
However, it wasn't just fluff-chucking that was going down.
Now, not all trade shows are the same. In fact, the clue to this one is in the title, the European Sport Fishing Show. For the first time ever, we've got an event which is about fly fishing and lure fishing together. I can't wait to get inside and see what it's all about. So Toby, tell us about the idea to start off this entire concept.
Well, I thought I do a lot of fishing shows all over Europe, and I felt that there was a gap in the market to offer a really good quality fly fishing and lure fishing show in the UK. We have really good fly shows already. The lure shows are a bit smaller, but it's a massively growing market. The synergy between fly fishing and lure fishing is really good.
As a game angler, it's fantastic. There's so many different stands, but yes, I'm known as a fly angler, but I do fish a lot for pike. I fish quite a bit for bass, and I've got into my lure fishing quite a lot in the last couple of years. So seeing all the other stands here, and I think as game anglers, you know, there's so many different species we can be looking at, and we can learn so much off the lure anglers.
Because you do both fly and lure, how much crossover is there in terms of the way you fish?
Masses. Over the years, guys come out on my boat and they want to do both. Very few people just want to stick to one discipline. So,
do you think then there's a market in the UK for that sort of fishing? You know, this crossover stuff where you've got people wanting to do a bit of both?
Yeah, oh absolutely. As I say, people in this day and age, a lot of fly fishermen have gone over to lure fishing. And then the funny thing is, I think a lot of lure fishermen, a bit like at this show, they're introduced to the world of fly fishing, and then they start to actually look at fly fishing as well. So there are massive crossovers now.
It is really more to do perhaps with the fly side that's changed mostly, in that we see it more on the spinning side of things, in that a lot of the fly guys are looking far more intently at the finesse that has been brought to lure fishing. So the crossover has become, in that the technical side of it perhaps is the same. We're matching the hatch, etc. The lines on the spinning side are becoming so much finer. The rods are becoming far more delicate. So what a lot of the lighter spinning rods you use these days could be equivalent to a two-weight fly rod, for example. So the lures that we use now, they're so small, even to the point where we could be using flies to catch some of the species that we go for. The competitions that we run are all species orientated, so the guys have had to adapt to learn how to catch different types of species, different sizes of fish, and because the presentation aspect of it has become so much more important, that's why the guys that find the technical side of fishing interesting have been drawn more and more to the lure side these days.
It is great to see the crossover. You know, I was a bit apprehensive about how the show would be for us as a lure brand, but actually it's incredible. I've been amazed at how many people are here and how much positivity there is, and yeah, everything's been really good.
So John, we've established the show's all about crossover. You're a brand that represents both disciplines, and I'm really interested in your take on what you've seen here at the show.
Yeah, so it's a new show for us, as it is for everybody, and I think what we wanted to do is give the customers a real good chance of seeing the product ranges that cross over from both lure fishing to fly fishing.
Interesting that this is a kind of a newish concept in the UK, whereas it's been all around the world for years. I mean, we've taken a while to catch up, haven't we?
And I think that's us as an industry, really. I think we in the UK almost catch up with, let's say, the Netherlands, for instance. Predator fishing in the Netherlands, the street type of fishing that those guys do. We've just started really catching on to that now here, in places like Manchester. So it's nice to see, eventually we get there. We've just got to try and lead the next trend, and we'll be first this time.
One of the things all anglers have got in common is the need to use line, lots of line, and also the need to tie things on it. So look at this. Here we have a fly, lovely pink fly, and here we have a lure, a lovely pink lure. And both of these two things are tied on with exactly the same knot. What this knot does, it offers lots of movement. The fly and the lure can move independently within the loop. That aids presentation. It's all about presentation. And my friend Billy Rankin is just about to show you how to do it.
Right, this is a little knot. And I'm teaching Andy to tie. You make an overhand knot like this, start with. Put the end through the eye of the hook. Bring the overhand knot up to the eye of the hook. Turn 4 times. And then bring the end back to the overhand knot. Wet it. Draw it all together. Pull it back. Trim, and then you have it.
Love a bit of clever stuff, don't we? Now, look at this stuff. This is tungsten impregnated mud. Who would have thought that anybody would want to do such a thing? Little blob of it on the end of your finger, and it's designed for fly leaders to rub into your main line. Now, the reason you do that, 2 jobs. One, it makes your line go dull so the fish can't see it, but most importantly, it makes your leader sink really fast, which is a really useful thing for tailoring your presentation. But this stuff has got applications for lots of different stuff, and that's one of the beauties of coming to an event like this. If you put that on a braided leader, imagine you're a carp or a barbel angler, that's going to make your hook link sink like a stone. So these sort of shows aren't just about fishing tackle. We've seen some fantastic paintings, and here we are with a British carpenter who's making something very interesting. Craig, talk us through what we're looking at here.
Basically, this is just a little fly tying station. It's designed as a mobile unit, so you can take it from below your stairs to put it in your kitchen table and then put it away after you've finished.
One of the things I like about this very much is you're not even an angler, are you?
I'm not actually, but I'm passionate about what I do, working with wood, working with oak, never get bored with it, working with different pieces. They're always different, the grains, and I just love what I do, and it's about coming to these shows, meeting anglers and fulfilling what they want.
Handmade titanium fly reel. What a stunning thing. Look, all the detail in this. Got drag on the back. Tiny, this is for a 3-weight line. Listen to that drag. Incredible thing. Busy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really good. You know, it's the first time we've done this show, and the support from the trade, from the media, from people on the street has been immense. Everyone's been so positive about the show, and you know, it's really nice to see that it's working. You know, we've got loads of space here, people are buzzing around, we've got amazing demonstrators, as you can see in the background. We've got Charles Jardine doing a great talk at the moment, and you know, it's only going to get bigger and better.
But you'll sleep well Monday.
I will. Well, I might go fishing Monday and enjoy it myself. I think the weather's meant to be good, so I think I'll shoot out Monday and go fishing.
I do love a trade show. There's always stuff to look at, isn't there?
Stuff is good, isn't it?
Especially with the crossover one as well, because you know, if you go to just a fluff one or you go to just a proper one, which is a carp one obviously, then you know, you're seeing the same sort of thing. There's the odd new thing, but when you go on a crossover one, there's lots of stuff that you can look at that you can think, you know what, I'll apply that to this. The other thing is that, you know, we look at perch fishing and you look at LRF fishing. Well, what's it called now? There's a new name for it, a new TLA.
Yeah, you were saying this the other day, weren't you?
TLAs we need.
Was it ultralight lure or something?
ULF, ultralight fishing.
Ultralight fishing?
ULF,
Yeah, that'll do us.
TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. You've got to have TLAs. We need BCF.
Yeah.
Or ACF.
Absolutely, I don't know what that is.
Adventure carp fishing.
Adventure carp fishing.
Adventure carp fishing, that's what we need.
Well, in that respect, TTFN will be back after the break on OTB, where Mr. Hughes goes to Lake Balaton to see if he can catch another monster.
On the Bank is proudly sponsored by Dovetail Games Eurofishing.